Welcome to another episode of the Creators Block podcast. And now in this episode, we are speaking to Supermanny. Now, Supermanny, the best way I can describe him, he's an overall creative. Honestly, he does photo, he does video, he directs. He also does podcasts called the Super Creators Podcast. He was actually the first person I had on my podcast. And we go into depth talking about his process, what's he been up to, what is Disrupt, and his involvement in Disrupt and Puerto Rico. And I hope you guys enjoy this podcast because it was a lot of fun catching up. We haven't made content in quite some time now, but we work well together, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode. And again, as always, I just want to say that there is a timeline available of our full conversation. So if you want to go ahead and skip to your favorite part, go to the description either down below or up above or wherever the description is. But skip to your favorite part, and like that, it saves you a bunch of time and it provides you as much value as possible in the shortest amount of time. And now for our sponsors. Yeah, ads. But yeah, these sponsors are literally meant for me to help fund these podcasts. I love doing them, but you know, people gotta work. But first things first, I want to start off with Anchor. Now, Anchor is actually how I do my podcasts. This is literally like a all-in-one kind of platform to host and distribute these podcasts. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing your podcast. Best of all, is 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away, just like me. And in fact, that's exactly what I'm doing right now by reading this quote-unquote ad. So if you want to start your podcast, it's stupid easy, and you should probably do it because podcasting is the future. So go on ahead and literally just go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start. But honestly, you guys should really start a podcast. It's super fun. If you're good at talking to people, I strongly advise you guys to start it. Alright, so now last but not least, our sponsor, Creators Block. Now, Creators Block is how we're able to do the Creators Block podcast in the first place. Now, Creators Block is a brand and is a collective of creatives. The idea behind it is to ensure that creatives are constantly on the rise and influencing by showing that creatives come in all shapes and sizes. Now, some examples of creatives, they're not only in the arts and music world, they are business owners, they are teachers, they are public speakers. Honestly, anything you get into, you're a creative in some way, shape, or form. If you want to learn more, visit creatorsblock.com or ElvisLikesPhotos/creatorsblock. That's without the K at the end. And there you'll find exclusive merch for Creators Block and a little background story about each piece telling you more about the artist. So remember, everyone's a creative, and Creators Block can help you tell your story.
I guess just started.
Yeah.
All
3, 2, 1. What's up, Disrupt Nation?
Get the fuck out of here. Cut this shit out. All right. So we're just gonna continue out because we did our first podcast together, right?
Yeah.
And
somehow.
yeah, about how long was that? That was like almost a year. No, summer, right?
That was a year. It wasn't summer because we were in Dumbo.
I have an icon, right?
No. I think you already switched.
Did I?
Yeah.
All right, so either way, it's gonna continue. So it's gonna be like a collab, Creators Block podcast and Super Creators podcast. If I can copy my name, but whatever.
Did not. But yeah, so we're just continuing. Right. Yeah. Because he cackles up. I don't.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not my fault you laugh like a. I need to show.
I have a professional laugh.
Get the hell out of here, you ugly ass laugh. All right, let's start.
But yeah, so last time we sat down, we spoke about what we're working on and what future projects and ideas we had, and I think we actually started to realize and do some of those things. So now it's like
we recorded 2 podcasts a day. We were actually, if Carlos watches this, we recorded his video. Remember the marketing?
Oh, yeah.
So that day we recorded your podcast, my podcast, and then the video for that. So we did a lot that day. And that was under like an hour before we actually started.
Yeah. Because we got to the set Yeah, no, it was basically like 30 minutes before we started shooting. We just sat down, had a cup of coffee,
and just like,
just out here.
damn, that was a while ago, man. All right, so what are you up to, man? Now, like you're in Puerto Rico.
Too much.
You're in Puerto Rico. You left Jersey for some reason.
No. So basically, last year, I think when we spoke, I had just started working with Disrupt, and
yeah,
I mean the reason that everything started was because of Puerto Rico. So we went on a Puerto Rico trip to basically, it was after Hurricane Maria, try to help out like what was happening there. So we gave out a few solar panel lights, a cup of water, but like that was as much as we could do at the time. So when we came back, we basically were like, okay, how can we use technology? How can we use innovation to actually empower the people of Puerto Rico so that they can build an economy for themselves?
So what's the overall plan? Because I know Disrupt has kind of like a big idea behind that, right?
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know what Disrupt is because we don't even know what we're doing.
so describe what you guys started out as.
Yeah.
And describe what you're kind of transitioning to or trying to transition to.
Basically, we started up as a media company.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm waving to the live in case like.
Yeah, doing. Anybody's there? Nobody likes us. No, I'm kidding.
There's 5 people.
But no, basically, we started out as a media company because Anthony was working at like an incubator startup, and
what incubator startup? What was it called?
Founders.
Founders. Okay.
And I was from Newark. I was working as like a graphic designer at some company, and basically he quit to run Disrupt. I quit, and we partnered up since then. So we started basically as a media company because we got to sustain our living, right? We got to get paid, do work. But we understood that the need for a company like Disrupt was a lot bigger. So basically now it transitioned into more of a movement and more of like Disrupt means actually going out and doing what you feel you were born to do.
Okay.
And being empowered to become like a digital nomad and live on your terms. That's like kind of Disrupt, like
now at least.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are transitioning to. So kind of describe what you've been up to. What was the latest project? Because I know you guys do events in Puerto Rico. And describe those. What are those events about?
So basically, our events that we hold are, I guess most people would like know more as like mastermind style.
Yeah.
But what we're really trying to do is bring people together and give them basically not just like the knowledge, but just understanding that if you really want to do something, you can do it. And it doesn't matter like where you were born, how you started, what it is that you want to do, but just giving you like basically changing your belief system.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that we focused on the last event was disrupting your past, disrupting your present, and disrupting your future. Because a lot of times people hold back on what they're doing because of their past. Oh, I tried something, it failed. Oh, I don't have a good upbringing. Oh, I'm never good at anything. I didn't go to good school. So we automatically stop ourselves from doing anything because of what already happened. But that has nothing to do with who we are. So the first thing is like understanding that your past doesn't dictate who you are or who you can become. It doesn't matter. That's the first part. Once you disrupt your past, then disrupt your present is like, how do you view yourself now? What do you believe about yourself now? What are you doing now to like be the person that you want to be, or are you still actually in the present, in the past?
So what is your involvement with like Disrupt? Like what have you been doing personally?
Yeah, I'm just the guy behind the camera. Basically. But basically running as the creative director, so I oversee all
because you've been busy for a while, man.
Video. And yeah, so not only for the Disrupt brand, but also for the clients that we work for. Okay. So it's like running, the brand and then also client work and trying to like.
Yeah, because that's hard. You guys do a lot of work. It's like, especially with clientele. So when did you move to Puerto Rico again? It was
October because that's when we had the event. So right after the event, I just stayed there. I think I came back for like a week just to like pick up some stuff, and then I was there ever since. Yeah, and then I came back
because I remember when you flew out, and I'm just like, yo, like because I came back from Mexico, I think.
Yeah,
I came back from Mexico, and then you flew out, and I guess it was a one-way ticket. You never came back.
Yeah, basically, it was a one-way ticket. I was out there for like a month, and then I came back just for like a week or so, and it was really just to grab some things and
then be
back out there. Yeah. Honestly, it's been good. Like,
how's Puerto Rico's weather?
Quality, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's like 85 degrees, like straight all the time.
That's great. It's not that humid, is it?
It's not at all.
Because we're by the beach. That's crazy. I didn't realize that because me and my brother and like my girlfriend and like the family, like my brother's girlfriend and my nephew, we all went out to Hawaii, and like Hawaii is very tropical. But when you're by the beach, like it doesn't feel tropical. It feels like nice.
Yeah, it's not. It's like warm, but you're also kind of chilly.
And I don't realize how bad Jersey weather actually is.
It's bad.
Because nowhere else in the world does it get like that extreme.
That humid, where you can see the heat waves like rising up from the
concrete. Yeah, because we were speaking to other locals like that live in Hawaii now. Because the people who live in Hawaii, a lot of people came from Cali because it's so close. So they would kind of say that they lived in Jersey and New York for a bit, and they're just like, see, I lived in the cold. Like I lived in like northern, like Maine or whatever, but like. They never felt like a cold like in Jersey or something or like New York.
It's extreme. It's always extreme.
It's like just, you feel it in your bones and stuff. Like although it's colder in other places, for some reason like the cold in the East Coast is like really bad.
Yeah.
And when it's hot, it's like humid hot. Like if you're in the shade, you're even worse.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why Jersey and like New York people, like at least in this tri-state area, are like as tough as they are, is because everything is extreme. All conditions are like extreme.
It sucks though because there's nothing. Because New York is amazing. I love New York. But it's very dirty and it's very like...
It's for specific things.
It's for
not really for living, but
yeah,
it's good for a lot of things, but not living.
It's crazy, man.
But then what about... So I'm trying to cut off that, but... Because they know about me, but we have no idea what
do I
you're
do?
up to. Yeah.
All right.
What have you been doing? Because I know actually that day, so that everybody knows, was the start of technically both of our podcasts. Because we... kind of spoke into existence. We're like, all right, we're gonna record this, and then we're gonna see what it turns into. And then you uploaded it as a pilot, and then I didn't. I never uploaded it.
Because I uploaded the first one. I actually recorded one with Brianna Sista, right before it was like in the summer, and after that podcast, I ended up. That's when we went to like AWOL Studios and everything like that. So then after that, it was like a mean-ass break from like the podcast.
Yeah.
And we didn't like record another podcast until like, I guess after that. Then, so after that year, so like last year by around March, I quit the bank. One of the main reasons was because like I was in school and I was working full-time in full-time school. So like that's fine. Like I've done full-time work and full-time school before. The problem for that last semester that I had like before graduating college was that professor, the specific professor was like, the most difficult professor like known. Like if you're in a finance class, there's only one professor that teaches a certain class, and you have to take that professor. So no matter what, like so you have to take it. And that guy,
he's a Thanos of finance. He's the one with the gauntlet.
People at Montclair would know. Like Montclair State University finance majors, you guys know Professor Lord. Like that professor is ridiculously like he fails half the class no matter what. So the thing is, you don't know your average. Because it's based off class average. So if you happen to be in a room with like a bunch of dumb people, you're good. But if you happen to be in a room with everyone who's a fucking genius for some reason that gets everything right, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And like it was group homework assignments, of course. Like and almost every group homework assignment, your group never does anything. So
you got to carry them.
I mean, I didn't say I carry them, but we literally worked with every single class like that had them in different periods. We all stayed in a room and like. Just worked on like our homeworks together, even if we were in different classes, because it was that hard. And so after that, I quit the bank. I did freelancing for a bit, and that's kind of what we did. Started doing like the AWOL Studios thing. We were just kind of like bringing in people and stuff. I figured out quickly, like during that time, like it's difficult, but like I did get like enough to like pay rent and like pay some of my things off. But the problem was that like I didn't really like doing it because there was. Since I didn't have a steady income, like you kind of, when you freelance, you freelance, you look for jobs, and then you kind of, you have to keep doing that. So the problem was that how do I have that balance to have freelance and then my content? So after a while, I've realized I was just taking jobs just to take it. And I didn't like that because although they pay pretty well, like we did this one event and it paid pretty decent. But I was just like, I don't even like doing this. It's like, it's not me.
Now you're
it's just like,
and
because like, like some of your time, since you're on your own time, you kind of have to do stuff based on your own schedule. So like today, are you going to do your own content, or are you going to look for work?
Yeah.
Because so that's what I was in a struggle with, and I was just like, damn, I haven't done my own content in a while. I was like, I didn't really like it, so I was like, all right, like I'm a just get a job. So I just got a job recently, and from there, like I was just concentrating on my own content now. So now I'm just like, I'm not really taking any jobs, to be honest. Like it's the last music video I did with like Strata. That wasn't even a job. That was a personal project.
Yeah.
And it's doing pretty well though. I like it. It came out 50K like views so far.
Yeah, no, I saw that. That was really good.
So that video took forever, man. That video took long to do. It was just like editing for like a month straight. It was a hard video to edit because we recorded like 8 performances. So
and it was a group. Yeah, and it was a group project.
Oh man, it was a hassle. But I mean, it was good. It came out good. I'm glad how it came out. But yeah, now I'm not doing any really any like work projects. Like if I'm gonna set a rate, like whoever wants to like ask for, work and stuff. But it's like I'm not really looking for that. I'm doing my own personal content,
you're
personal films.
You're a music video director. Like you're not just one thing.
Yeah.
So like if you do it, it would have to be something that you want to do as like a project because it synchronized with your art.
Yeah, so I kind of strayed away more from photo, like unless it's gonna be my own photo, which I love doing architecture stuff, and that's where I kind of like street photography and stuff, and like cinematic kind of photos if it's portraits.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna concentrate more on filmmaking. Excuse me, and then I'm gonna try to just have personal projects. So I'm gonna write like a little story, kind of make films. I'm actually editing my travel films that I've put on delay for so long, man. So
it's because you did like 3 travels in like
yeah. And the thing is,
in like 3 months, it was like back to back.
There's a lot. So I went to Mexico. So okay, that's when you left and stuff. Came back from Mexico. I was like I said, I was still freelancing, so I was still doing like other things. And during the Mexico trip, I only ended up editing 1 part of the 3-part series that I'm gonna release. And then I went to LA, and then right after that I went to Hawaii.
Yeah.
So then LA, I just released 1 part. I'm about to release another one this week. So like I said, I'm finally actually editing. So I'm gonna release the 3rd part for LA because there's a lot of video that I recorded, and then I'm gonna go back to my Mexico, release that just to get out of the way, and then I'm gonna go to Hawaii last, which is another 3 parts.
So you're like,
yeah,
bouncing,
because each trip is guaranteed like 3 videos because it's a lot. I'm not trying to make it, and I don't. When it comes to like vlogs, like travel films.
Yeah, you don't don't want to cut everything short, but you also don't want to make it a 20-minute documentary of like Elvis in Hawaii and Cali.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to make it like 5 minutes is like the threshold, and like it's gonna vary between like a little bit over 5 minutes, a little under 5 minutes, and that's kind of like my golden time, So I kind of figured out a way how to edit it, so it's going a little quicker than normal. But it still worked because I'm looking at it. I'm just like, oh, I kind of want to add a couple of parts and stuff. But this gives me time to actually like work. I come home, I don't even think about work, and I just like do this and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the good thing about, and that's where like my struggle is because right now you're working, and then once you're done with work, you're done with work. Yeah. So you don't have to think about it until the next day. So you just whatever you do after that, it's yours. It's on your time. It's kind of flexible. But like, I'm never not working. So, and it's annoying.
And honestly, that's kind of like that's kind of what I didn't want, at least for now, because I do want to freelance, but the thing is, I want to get my own stuff out first because I think I jumped into freelancing too quick. So like I was doing it, and like I got pretty decent, like a pretty decent resume. So like when I went to this job, I'm doing photo and video. Like I got it like the same day, like the job. Yeah. Like my reel was like it was good, like my video work was good, my photos were good.
Of course.
So like I have that, but I'm just like I want to work on my own stuff because I want to work on my personal brand, and then Creators Block, it's like a separate entity, So like I have my LLC for that, so that's gonna be a separate thing, and I need, like
curate, you take care of the baby.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna
for sure.
Oh shit, we're gonna pause this real quick.
We back.
I got my AirPods in, and gotta stay humble. Gotta stay humble here.
Oh man! All right, so
we're going back. We're talking about how we're making our own content.
Yeah.
So just to finish up on my part, the reason I want to make my own content is because like obviously you want to have your own content. Like I'm not.
It's your work. It's your work.
I don't want to be a producer. I don't want to be like the person to go to. Like like I have this like gig. Like can you do this with me and stuff? Like no. Like I want to have my own art. Like when you look at, so I've been following like a lot of directors recently. So like I told you, I was looking into a lot of like Quentin Tarantino and Christopher Nolan, like all those films. Like when they release a film, it's not like Fox releases film and then like he happened to be the director. It's like Quentin Tarantino is making a film.
And Fox wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah. And Christopher Nolan's Batman, you know. Quentin Tarantino's like Kill Bill, you know, like these are their movies, you know, like that's what I want. It's gonna be like my movies that I'm releasing, and it's, you know, it's my name.
So it's because you're narcissistic.
I was like, am I? But
no. I got it. It's your work. It's your name. It makes perfect sense.
Honestly, like so my goal, like in general, like I want to be known. That's me. Yeah. Like I just want to be known. Like I like when people know who I am, and it's just my kick out of it is just like it just makes me feel good because I know I can help people with that.
For sure. And I get that.
The selfish why, you know, like is that I want to do more for people knowing that they feel like they owe me something, but I'm never going to cash that in, you know? Like I'm never going to be like, yo, like since I did this for you, you're going to owe me something. Like no, like people have that fake mindset that they would be nice and they do something for somebody expecting something in return. For sure. Like I don't expect anything and I want to have that always. Like it's just like if someone's going to like have that over somebody, I'd rather have it be me because I'm never going to use it, you know? Like I'm never going to like cash that in that like, yo, I helped you out with this 10 years ago.
To do something for, yeah.
And then you only
now you gotta put me on, and now you gotta, like, nah. No, I totally get that, and I think that's kind of the problem I have. I feel like I'm too nice with a lot of things, and like I should be, but that's the thing is I honestly never want to owe anybody. That's why even like you know if somebody like asks me to borrow like money and stuff like that, like I'll literally be like, yo, just. You need it. That's it. If for whatever reason in the future somehow you end up that, you know, you kind of like you paid me back for something, but I don't want it to be like associated. Like that was just is that. And that's the same thing like with my art. Like I really like teaching. I really like teaching, explaining things because I feel like I go deep into things
because you care, you know, like and and that's my thing because there's a lot of photographers and videographers out there that actually don't want to show how they did certain things or like even the location of the thing. Like that's I can't believe that's a thing.
I remember that. And they're still doing that?
I don't know. I guess so. But like
that's so whack.
Every time someone asks me something like what camera did you use? What location was it? How did you shoot it? Like I go all out. I write fucking paragraphs. So if anyone wants to like ever DM me how I got a certain shot or like what I use exactly or even where I shot it or how what time, like whatever, all these tips, like I'm going to give it to you. Like if you DM me that, I'm going to give you a full paragraph, GPS and stuff like that, like location, everything. Like I'm going to show you everything when it comes to that.
Because the thing is also, it's like,
they're not you.
First of all, they're not you. So that means even if they take the same picture using the same camera, doing the same thing, it's not going to come out the same because it's moment and chance and, you know, like, and it's your style. So it's always going to have you in it. And the second thing is, people have to understand that there's an abundance of resources. There's like, let's say even like some people they don't want to share a location or they don't want to share even like work because it's like, oh, but you're going to take my clients. It's like, bro, like, do you know there's 7 billion people? If you have a problem with sharing something, it's because you're insecure.
Yeah.
Like, I can share everything with you. You're not going to take my clients because they're my clients. And if you take my clients, I'm going to work somewhere else. I'm going to find somebody else. Like, it's so like whack when like, especially since we're a community, I feel like we really have to come more together in order for all of us to grow. But people are like,
that's separate. Honestly the only reason you are able to grow. Like,
no, that's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah. Like the only reason you're able to grow is because like you have to work together.
And that's honestly, and even we started creating content kind of around the same time.
Yeah.
But we've just been helping each other along the way, just like feeding off of each other's energy, off of each other's work, collabing together, like, you know, even if it's like friendly competition, but we continue to help each other. So like, I feel like I would be in a different spot if I didn't have people like you around. I would be doing something different. I might not have the same, whatever. I might not have the same approach that I have to my work or the same dedication.
It's perspective. Like you got to realize that you're going to learn too. Like, how do you not realize that you're going to learn? Like who's actually helping, you know? Like, but, and I don't know. That's my thing though. Like I always try to work with people, and like I said, if I have a personal project, like I said, like when I did the culture project, I invited you to come along. Like it's just you're gonna get your own content, and same thing. Like if you have something, I go along with it, like whatever you're doing and stuff. Like it just can't overlap your goal though. Like, you know,
Exactly.
You can't be like yes to everybody, because that was my issue too. I always say yes to everybody, and I could have charged so much for like these past things that I did, like as collabs, but it was still a learning experience for me. And like I've been saying no like wait like so much like recently. Like people have asking me to shoot or something, or like collab on something. I'm just like, I'll keep it in mind, but like I'm not really like putting it in a priority list. Yeah. You know, it's
no. I mean, the thing is that you have to understand, that also people have to understand, it's not that we don't want to collab or work together, but everything takes time. It takes effort, energy, money. Like anywhere that I go, like some people are just like, yo, when we go to meet up in New York, and I'm like, as soon as you say New York, that's $10 on my pocket.
Yeah,
that's at least a bus that I have to take and then come back. That's not including train, food, everything else. So I know when I go to New York, I'm easily dropping 20, and that's like keeping it conservative.
Yeah, that's being like,
you know, and not to say that like you're not as important as a 20, but like if
it's just an expense though. Like it's an expense. Like
and then the time.
Yeah,
that's easily what it takes, like 45 minutes to get to the city.
Yeah, because so say you have a job. Like right now I have a full-time job. So now like my time's even more like crucial than ever. Like it's kind of like every moment I have to be doing something. I actually haven't been getting content for my own personal self for such a long time, but because I've been editing the content I've missed because I was concentrating on editing other people's content.
Yeah.
So like I'm finally going back to edit my like past like travel films and stuff. I'm finally able to go back and edit like the photos I missed and stuff like that, because those are my stuff that I did for me, and I just never released it because of me saying yes to the whole world.
Yeah. No, and that's the same. I have so many things backed up because of like work, so like I try to like sneak it in there when I can to get it done, but it's true. It's annoying because you want to have the work that you want to put out into the world, which is like your image, is who you are, but then you also have to.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going back to that thing. Like, if you ask me any question for anything, like I'll tell you my whole secrets to everything, because it's not a secret. It's very simple how to become a decent photographer, videographer. What makes people great is when they take those elements and take it beyond that. Yeah. So that's where I want to get to. I want to be the great, but like the simple, like it doesn't take much to be a decent photographer. It doesn't take much to be a decent like videographer. The people that are distinctive though, like those are the people that actually make a difference, but they have their own style that you can't really mimic, because no matter how much you try, you're not going to mimic it.
Because it's theirs.
Yeah, theirs.
It comes from their mind.
But like sure. I'm literally open to all that. And like I said, like if it's a photographer issue, like I'm not, I don't define myself as a photographer, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's like, you could have all my secrets for that. I'm not only a filmmaker. I'm not only a podcast person. Yeah. Like you could have all those secrets. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, like, even just before we started, I was telling you that I wanted to get into, like, composing and doing, like, music and stuff like that, just because
Super
it's
beats.
something... Yeah, basically, super beats. I don't know. I probably won't call it that. I'll call it something else. I'll be more aliased on that. But it's something that I've always liked, and I want to get into it just because...
Yeah, fuck it. Just
I want to get into it because I like creating. That's the same thing. That's why I started photo, video, and I'm like, why not learn? I don't know when I'm going to use it, when I'm not going to use it, but it's something that I just want to get into. So it's not like you can't take something away from me because I'm not just one thing.
So I want to like go based off of that then, because like you're just kind of like me. Like we pick different things to kind of dabble in. We even went to skating too. Like skateboarding was a big part of my life.
I was actually skating today,
soccer too.
Yeah,
I mean that's a Hispanic thing though. So like no matter where you live, Hispanics always play soccer. But yeah, we went to skateboarding, so that was like a changing thing. So when it comes to like filmmaking, podcasting, and photo, like what do you want to portray though to people? Like what do you want to cause a certain emotion, or do you want to show somebody something?
Honestly, for my work, I feel it's more about expression. And I'm going to say expression because anyone who knows me or who has met me like throughout, I guess they see one type of person, but usually when I'm on camera or when I'm on set, when I'm doing work, I'm more loose. I'm more like, I have to get out, you know, like I just gotta, like even this, I probably wouldn't like, I wouldn't just talk freely like this, whatever, but it's about showing who I actually am.
Yeah.
And not trying to be this professional. Because I guess that would always be my problem. Whenever I started something, first thing is, if I'm going to start something, I'm going to be the best. Or the best that I can be. So even like you mentioned with skateboarding. As soon as I started skateboarding, I was like, all right, basics, got it down.
Gotta get it down.
And then the second thing is, who's the best in my town?
You gotta challenge them.
And why are they good? No. Who's the best in my town? What are they good at? Once I found out what everybody was good at, I knew what was my strength, what was my weakness. I was like, all right, I can't do gaps. There's like I can hold my own. But mine was technicality. Yeah. So I learned manuals, technicality. I took it toward like what I can do because no matter what, nobody was gonna hold that title. I was gonna hold it.
All right, so back to where we left out, skating.
Yeah. So I was saying, so after skating, then I also went into breakdancing. Well, it was kind of the same time. So it was when I was like 13. That's when both hit. But
I didn't believe you when you first told me that. I was just like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, like, you didn't break dance.
For sure. That's where I got. So
at least I rolling all over the floor and shit.
So for everybody to know, the reason why my name is Supermanny was from breakdancing. That was my b-boy name.
That's crazy.
That's how that's where it came off from. A lot of people thought it was because I like Superman. He's not my favorite, but I kind of like him now because I'm using, the whole branding. But that's where it came from.
Was your boy band name?
Yeah, nobody knew like why people call me Superman, but that's why. So when I did that, I also learned the basics, and then I was like, okay, who's the best in my town at the Clifton Rec Center? And then I saw
the Clifton. Oh my god!
That's where we used to
skate there
every Monday. I used to skate the
Clifton Rec.
So I found out, who was the best, who was good at what. I knew I wasn't good at power. I wasn't good at flips, but I was good at style. So I learned the dance, I learned the style, and I added what I can do. So I was able to hold my own with them because I knew from the beginning, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go
all
hard
out and stuff.
So that's the same thing. Same thing with photos and doing video. I'm like, learn the basics and then go hard. At least be the best in my field.
It's interesting because you tried, like, you formatted it, in a way, like you kind of chose a formula to like how to do it. When I got into skating, like I was kind of known for my ollies. Like I had a pretty high pop. Like if you stack like the sideboards and stuff, I did about 7 like high, like almost 8 if anything.
I did like 5.
So I had a pretty decent hop, and every time I jumped off of stairs, like I would jump like
like, beyond that for no reason.
It's ridiculous because like when I land hard and then I fall.
Yeah, because you make it higher than it needs to be.
But the reason that happened is because I couldn't learn it. Like I didn't know how to do ollies. Like it took me so long to even do an ollie. Like it was ridiculous. Like it's just like I just couldn't learn it. And the reason, like, when you tweak it to like the side, when you tweak it, like, that boned ollie and stuff, for skaters that know, the only reason that happened is because I didn't know how to ollie. So then I kicked it forward and my foot like curved in, and I was just like, that's the only way I know how to do it. So it just kind of worked out. And if anyone that like I know, like I knew a lot of people from skating, and people like my style. Like that's what that's what I was known for too. I wasn't very technical, but I jumped off of everything, So the few like 5 tricks that I knew how to do very, very well, I took it off of everything, So that was good, Like that's what got me more. That's what made me feel like a lot of consistency between like my skating. And when it comes to photos, like I did what you learned. Like I learned like my camera like inside and out. Like the first time I got my camera, like with the Nikon, I did the same thing with my Sony. I looked at those hour-long tutorials on like what's in your camera, and like I did that before anything. Now I was just like, I gotta sit through this shit, but I was just like, I want to learn though. Like I gotta learn my camera. So I sat through all that. Same thing with like everything else. You just kind of gotta try, honestly.
And the thing is interest. Once you're interested, then you're just like,
it doesn't feel like work. Like skating, like
it doesn't. No, I used it literally. This was my day. I would get out of high school. I would leave my book bag in the locker and take out my board. So this is what, like at 2:30, that's when we used to finish, right? Like 2:15-ish. That was the last class. Bro, and that's it. I would skate until 6 just because I had to like eat. And then at 8 o'clock, I'd be at the rec center breakdancing. So imagine.
You did both. Yeah,
so imagine. And sometimes we would go into like 12 p.m. sessions, 1 a.m. sessions. So literally, it was more than 8 hours a day on my craft or my art. But I used to do it day after day, like no problem. And I wouldn't be tired.
Back when we were, that's when we were our kid body, So, so like in the morning, like we'd wake up before sunrise to go skate. We'd go to a spot, come back way past sunset, But the thing is, for some reason,
fueled on hot dogs and quarter water juices.
For some reason, $5 got us into New York, got us into like everything. I don't even know how $5 got us into there because we used to sneak everywhere. But yo, that was crazy though, man. Like those were good days, but like I would never want to go back to them.
But think about it. But then, do you really think it was just because we had our kid body, or was it because our interest and passion?
No, definitely our interest. Definitely interest.
So
definitely, 100%.
So that's what I feel like even now.
I'm saying our kid body, as in like how $5 lasted like the whole day. Because I remember my parents gave me money, like $5. It's just like, oh, like this is for you to eat. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good for the whole day. Like I'm just like, this is including travel expenses. This is including like food.
I'm good.
And then they call me. They're just like, where you at? And I'm just like, oh, I'm in New York. They're like, what the fuck? Like,
how'd you get there?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like I just hopped on a train or something.
Yeah.
But
no, but
I was like 13 when I went all the way to Queens by myself with my friend, like Udis. Shout out to Udis. We went to Queens like at like 13. Like we live far from Queens, man. Yeah. And we took the train. That was the first time I ever took the train. I was just like, I'm gonna just go, fuck it.
That's amazing though. But that's what I mean. Like, you know, I always think back at that because I'm like, whenever the passion is there and the interest, like you honestly do the impossible. Like you do the impossible. Like I know there's sometimes where like if I'm working on a personal project, like even recently I was talking to you about the Newark Film Festival. It was a 24-hour project. I never did a short film, and literally because I was interested in it and I was interested in the story.
Yeah.
Like I literally think maybe it was like 4 hours of filming and like 2 hours of editing. It wasn't even like that much, and it just got done. Effects, color grading, sound, like
that was a cool video.
You know, it was a full like production, but it came out because the interest was there.
Yeah.
But sometimes when like, sad to say, some client work and it's not interesting, it'll take like
I don't even worry about client work, honestly.
You know what I mean?
I don't even worry about client work, honestly.
But
I mean, I worry about it because like that's the first thing that gets done. But as far as like how much take it, like it depends on them though. You know, you can't really put your own input.
But that's where like,
and that's where the branding comes in. That's when you make your own personal films. That's when Quentin he does his own films and people want to fund him. Not he's looking
Sony,
for a film to get
Fox,
funded by.
Yeah.
So, and that's the level I kind of want to reach and stuff. So as far as I want to kind of go over like right now, what's inspiring you right now? Like what's motivating you to like what you want to do?
Honestly, it's kind of like bad to say, I guess, but it's not really. Like my motivation is myself because I'm finally giving myself the opportunity to do what I like and to actually like live and not worry about family, friends, surroundings. You know, like honestly, like in other times I wouldn't just up and gone to Puerto Rico. Like that would have been like crazy for me. But even honestly, like shout out to Anthony for giving me the opportunity, like even with Disrupt, because that was kind of like the first point where I was just like, I'm done living on other people's standards and other people's ways. And I was just like, I'm going to do this because I want to do it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it still worked because this is what I wanted to do. So right now it's like, I'm giving myself the chance to actually do what I like, live on my terms and figure it out. And that's what's motivating me because I feel like I've held back who I was for such a long time. And now I'm just like unleashing it, and whoever, wants to be a part whoever wants to be a part of it, whoever wants to like
made the butterfly
come up on the journey, but it's like, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I want to share it with whoever wants to.
So how's your day look like? Like what's your daily?
My day?
Your daily day.
All right. Well, I'm going to say my daily day, like while I was in Puerto Rico, because that's kind of like my ideal day. And
Puerto Rico was an ideal day.
Like it was just me. It was just me. Because here it's different with family, and then they wake you up, and then they have like their own agenda. But literally, I would wake up. First thing is obviously brush your teeth, right? Get ready. Yeah. Make coffee. Make breakfast. If there's any dirty dishes, like wash it. Like get that out the way. I'd go walk the dog or exercise. That would be like my exercise. Mm-hmm. And by the time I come back, it's maybe I would say like 11:30. Then from there, I'll start sitting down. I'll write down at least the 3 things that I should get done today. And then I'll work. I'll work until like 7-ish.
So work as in like the work from like client work and stuff,
yeah.
Right? Okay.
So it would usually be, until like 7-ish, 8-ish. And then from there, I would usually prepare like dinner. Lunch is always optional. Depends on how big the workload
Yeah,
is.
it is though.
No, but after that, I would take a break. That would be my mental break, and I'll be like, I'm done for today. I'll go play video games. I'll listen to music. I'll edit, my photos, my videos, because to me that's not work. It's relaxing. So, and that's usually how I finish off my day. Like usually I would end it with just like, I need to kind of Zen mode out. I just need to like chill, not think about work, because tomorrow's gonna be like another day. So that was kind of like my routine, and I loved it. It was good.
So, you said that's an ideal day. Like you're happy with that. What is that your ideal day? Like, is that what you have imagined, or this is an ideal day like right now? Given future Manny, like talking to future Manny,
it is. I would say it is the ideal day. The only exception would be that I feel like I could use less time on work and still get as much done. So instead of having like an 8-hour or 9-hour day,
where would you want to live though? Actually,
that doesn't matter to me. Like where, location, because I don't get accustomed to places. So like when I was younger, when I moved out to the Dominican Republic,
what's your next place?
Houston, Texas.
So explain
heading out there Sunday. I knew you were gonna get this. Heading out to Houston, and that's it.
What's at Houston?
People, places, opportunities.
Man, he's afraid to touch this subject.
You'll find out in the next vlog.
Get away.
But yeah, no. So yeah, next move is Houston, and then I'll be jumping back from Houston, Jersey, Puerto Rico.
Really?
So I'll be because the thing is that the company is still in Puerto Rico, so we have to make sure that everything's running smooth. And then Jersey's kind of like the networking base and where everything is.
Yeah, it is actually.
So, and then if I stay out too long, you're gonna miss me, and I don't want you.
I'm trying to move out to LA. Fuck that.
Go to LA.
You're gonna want to visit.
Do it. No, I'm going. We're trying to set up a Disrupt Cali.
Oh, in Cali. What part of Cali?
We don't know if LA or San Fran, or it depends on.
San Fran's expensive.
Yeah, but
I haven't been there though. It's like a New York, technically, in a way.
Jem went there.
Like gloomy.
That punk.
Like gloomy and stuff. Shout out to Jem.
But yeah. So hopefully, definitely like trying to go out there and here.
Not here.
That's the slogan. Yeah, but you know why we say that? We out here. Like how that slogan started.
How?
Even though like in hip hop, like a lot of people use it, but it's literally because we were just out there. Like when we went to Puerto Rico, like what are you doing? We're out here. We're just trying to do something. So that's like, the motive is just like do something. Just get out there, do something. We out here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Whenever people would say that, like I always think of like those pyramid scheme things. And then,
really?
And then it's just like
never say that.
They hold these signs like you should be here.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
man,
but that's
that
that was
so
us. It was just being out there is basically like just doing something to do it. Not really like purpose or reason or like a full plan, but just like get it done. Just go do it.
So let's talk about kind of like your filming style though. Like how do you want to approach it again? Like you said you want to express yourself, but like where are you looking for like inspiration?
So I haven't looked at inspiration in a bit, and the reason is like even though it's bad, like I do want to learn my film history, and I was talking to you about that. You were mentioning you were studying, and then I just recently did a podcast with Jose, and he also mentioned a lot about film. I learned a lot from him, but the one thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to copy other people's style just because it's the trend, it's what's going on. So even like the whole,
100%.
Even like I told you, like the whole 60 frames per second, like I've been using 24 unless I know that I need 60 frames. But because the reason is I don't want to be attached to an editing style. I want to be attached to a story, and one of the big things that like touched me a lot was, or that made me think that way is because I showed somebody a video and I was like, when you look at this, do you think it's filmed with a DSLR or like a professional camera, or is it filmed with a cell phone? And the person's response was, I don't care. So that shocked me, because I'm like, what do you mean you don't care?
Yeah, like that. So I got very comfortable with like telling myself that. So okay, when I first started doing photography, carry that shit everywhere, you know, like, I mean, that's a good thing, you know, you carry everywhere because you know it's your baby. I still carry everywhere, but the thing is, like, before, like, if I left my camera at home, I'd be like, I can't do shit, like, I don't know, I can't do anything, you know, but now it's just like, I'm not attached to the camera. Camera's a tool, my phone's a tool. I use my phone a lot for, like, my vlogs and stuff. I actually use it probably, like, half the time and stuff, to be honest, and then my camera's there, but it's a tool. Like, I don't feel bad if I leave one or the other because it's just gonna help me get the overall, like, story that I want to put out. Because you're right, like, nobody cares, like, that was recorded nicely or recorded something. Like, someone's gonna go for the story more than the actual, like,
and what's
the way it's
the
done.
content.
Like, one example I always kind of go back to is just Casey Neistat was, like, talking about that everyone cares about story. Like, you could have the best visuals, but if there's no content, like, there's no point in watching it. And the example he brought up was, like, the Transformers movies. It's like they're amazing. They're, like, amazingly, like, done, like, visually. They're like
But there's no
but he's like, I fell asleep throughout the whole movie. But then when you see a documentary, like, it's one camera facing and the
fixed
lowest
angle.
quality. But if it's an interesting subject or an interesting character, like, if you
and they use footage from, like,
the 50s
way back when, and you're not like, oh, that's pixelated, that's
nobody
noisy.
judges it. Like, you're just like, oh my god, like, this is like, what if there's an interview with, like, Einstein talking about, like, how he came up with this shit? Like, you're gonna be looking at Einstein.
You're not
in the
gonna
story.
be worried about 4K.
Who cares about the audio? Who cares about that? Like, it's the content, it's the actual story. So I've been really trying to focus on that, like, how to get my story out there. And I've always cared about that. I've always cared, like, giving out a story. Like, I don't want to film without an intent. I don't want to show something without an intent because it's like,
sure.
I don't know, like, it's easy to make something visually because scientifically you could put something together, but, like, everyone knows how to do that. The problem is, like, having the right story to kind of bring it out there.
And
I want to talk a little about, like, Creator's Block. So the thing is, like, I have my personal brand. That's me personally. My thing is just, like, I want to be known as, like, you know, whatever project I'm working on, it's gonna be good. You know, like, the music video was my first music video and ended up being, like, a pretty decent, like, pretty decent work. And, like, anything I want to go into, it's gonna be, like, a good piece of work. Because I pride myself a lot in it. You know, like, it's not like being narcissistic or something. It's just like, yeah, actually. No, but yeah, you know what I mean, though. Like, it's like, if you put in your heart in something, you want to show it off. Yeah, you want to show it off and stuff. You're not gonna put out something that you don't care about, you know. But with Creator's Block, the thing is, with Creator's Block, the idea is just that I have to rebrand it because I'm not making it very clear on, like, how I'm approaching Creator's Block. But Creator's Block, it's meant for me to actually tell people stories. So say with you and stuff, we make a film about you, telling your whole story and talking about, like, how you became a creative, what makes you a creative. Also, not concentrate on just, like, the typical creatives, which is, like, artists, music artists, and, like, media. You know, the typical creative. It's like I want to bring on, like, an accounting person or something that won't, like, change everything or something. You know,
they
like,
are,
like
they're
public
also
speakers or, like, teachers and stuff. You know, like, those are creatives. It's like business people. Like, I mean, right now the entrepreneur idea is very glamorified, but the idea behind, like, a business owner or a manager is, like,
they had an idea.
They have an idea.
They created something.
They create something. They're using their resources, what they have, trying to make a business grow.
Which is super creative.
Yeah, that's the creative. And when it comes to Creator's Block, it's trying to show that within people, not just about, you know, I'm not trying to just show cool pictures on, like, a shirt or something.
Yeah. Well, that's it's funny that you mentioned that because that's basically when I started my podcast, you know, Super Creators Podcast, it was following that same kind of format because
Why are you copying me?
He copies, but but the point is that everyone's a super creator. They're like, the superhero is important regardless of what power he has. You know what I'm saying? But, like, yeah, Superman is one example. You know, he has a certain power, but he's still Superman no matter what. Whether he's in Clark Kent, you know, like, he's still, like,
That's why I like Batman better.
Yeah, but Batman creates, right? He created his own powers, right? But basically, so that's the thing. So I always tell people,
Get
like,
Batman on the podcast. Yeah, tag Batman.
This guy. But I always, like, you know, I'll tell people, like, I want people to know who the super creator is. Not just, like, we're not just pixels. We're not just pixels. We're not just our work. We're not just our audio files. We're human beings. So, like, for you, like, I want to highlight Elvis Rios, not the photographer, the videographer, but you as a person.
As a person.
Because if they resonate with you, then no matter what you put out, they're gonna resonate with it. They're gonna work with. They're gonna feel something because they know who you are.
That's honestly what makes people last too. Like I said, it's the same exact concept. Like when it comes to like me, because I want to make custom merch, and like you haven't sent me your picture yet, so I haven't made you custom merch and shit.
Sending that out right now.
So yeah, I want to like that. The idea, like I'm not trying to like brand it like Creators Block. It's like it's gonna be something Creators Block happens to be behind it, but that's like I want people to look at the brand and think of it like they're honored to be on it. Gotcha. You know, it's like when you, like I want to make awards eventually too. Like I want to have like kind of like once I have enough creators kind of on
that's
it.
That's a good idea.
I'm gonna have awards. I mean, you could copy, but you're not me though. But yeah, you know, I want to make awards and stuff. So I want people to look at it and be like, yo, like I'm glad I was part of it. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm trying my best to highlight everyone as much as I can, and that's what I want to do because I actually genuinely enjoy talking to people. I'm really good at talking to people. Every interview I've been to, I've always gotten the job right away, but because I would talk about the other person. Yeah. So it's like, and I was a banker, and like the thing is like I would just have them talk the whole time, and they're like, "Yo, you were so helpful." I'm like, I ain't do shit, but
all I did was listen to you talking. Yeah, for sure. That's.
Anyways, man. So I guess we'll end it here then. All right, let's look at advice. What advice would you give people in photography, videography?
All right, my biggest like key takeaway is something that I really had to learn, and it's basically the most important asset is you, is the person holding the camera, is the person behind the phone. Like, so work on you and like your skill set and like who you are, and then no matter what tool you have, you'll get the job done. So basically, stop focusing on the tool. Don't say, "Oh, I can't take good pictures because I don't have a camera." You have an iPhone or you have any phone.
I mean, especially now.
Honestly, no. And I want to put this out there because I mentioned this at another time that when I first started taking pictures was with a Samsung Galaxy S2.
Yeah.
And I still have those photo files. And those photo files are one of my favorite files. And like when I compared them to the work I'm doing now, it's like I can only tell because I was there. But the point was that the tool didn't matter.
Then you haven't improved? No, okay.
Huh? No, I'm upload it. I'm gonna upload it. But no, I want to show that because those are some of my favorite pictures. And I had no idea about photography. I didn't have anything idea about like angles and this and that. I just knew it's pleasing. I like it. I want to take it.
Yeah, that's how I got into photography too. Like I would stare at something for so long and I'm like, damn, yo, it looks cool. And then I figured out eventually I'm just like, I should probably buy a camera.
Yeah.
but especially now though, like
that's
phone cameras are really good.
They're amazing. They're amazing.
My camera doesn't even shoot 4K. Like my actual camera doesn't shoot 4K. My phone does, but not my camera. So I use my phone a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can create amazing things. You just
story, man.
Don't worry about the tools. Don't worry about like what you're using.
They help, and 100% they help if it's something specific. But
you
can always get around it.
It's like if you give somebody who's a beginner a red camera that does 8K,
they're not gonna know what to do with it.
Which means the tool is only as important as the person who's holding
100%.
it. So that's like my takeaway. Just work on you, and then with whatever you have, just go out and do it.
Yeah, like you'll know when you need an extra tool. Like if you
once you get to that level, then you're just like, all right, I think it's kind of.
I think it's time to get a tool. You know, like an additional, but it's not. You know, it's not defining you.
Yeah. Even all the work I'm doing now, it's a beginner DSLR, Nikon D3300. If anybody wants to look it up,
I had the same one.
Beginner DSLR, and all the work that you see is from that photo and video.
I had the same exact one too. I did a lot with that, and the only reason I switched from that camera because that camera works so well with me, and like obviously is working well for you. The only reason was because I wanted an electronic viewfinder, because I didn't want to like chimping when it kind of looked down. That's the only. If my camera had that, I would have kept that camera until this day.
So there you go. You realized at that point that you had a need and something that you wanted.
Yeah, it's more of a want, honestly. Yeah. It's not really like, it wasn't really like a need, but like it's more of a want because I didn't want to keep like looking down on my camera if I got the right exposure. I was just like, I want to see in my camera, because I'm very conservative when I take photos too. Yeah. Like I don't just spray and pray, unless it's like something action.
But you have to, no choice.
Yeah, when you kind of have to, but I try not to. Like if like most of the shots I've taken, like I do multiple angles and stuff. It's multiple shots, but like I get lazy to edit, man.
Yeah, it's same. I don't want
that's my thing. Man.
But yeah, that's my only like takeaway is just get out there, just do it with whatever you have, and just keep learning. Basically, never stop learning.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's it.
All right, man. So I guess we'll end it right here. Yo, Manny.
For sure.
I'll see you, I guess, next time. I'll probably visit in Austin then. See what you've been up to.
Come through. Come through.
I've been trying to go to Austin for so long. Oh, no, Houston.
I mean, so Texas is big. So.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So if you're in Austin, I might not see you. If you're in Dallas,
Austin's like 4 hours away from Houston. I remember because I took a flight from Houston to Austin.
Yeah, it's mad far.
Yeah. But I'll see you in Houston. Wow. When do you leave?
Sunday.
Okay. So let's let everyone know your Instagram and stuff and everything like that.
Oh yeah, for people watching. Follow me at Supermanny. Super Baby Manny, like Manny Pacquiao, and then 5'4".
Manny Pacquiao.
And that's it. That's my Instagram handle. That's where you can find me everywhere.
And then for me, Elvis Likes Photos. That's pretty much everywhere. Besides Twitter, I couldn't add the extra S, so it's Elvis Likes Photo, unlike one photo. I don't know why.
Because you only take one picture.
YouTube, Instagram.
I mean, you could put Elvi Likes Photos.
Elvi.
You take the S out there.
You just like trade off.
Trade off.
Elvis Likes Photos on like every platform. ElvisLikesPhotos.com. Creators Bloc Podcast. Follow at Creators Bloc on Instagram. And yo,
that's it.
We'll end it right here then.
Awesome.
Thank you, bro.
Bam! Out here.
I had to stay humble, you know.
Join.
Huh?
Join.
Oh, you got him. Oh, you're live.
Yeah, you join in.
Request. Send you a request. You have to accept me.
All right, there you go. Wait, how do you accept?
It'll say like
request to be. Okay, there we go.
Too close.
Hold on.